Lovers Beat Production.
C'est Régis qui a fait la prod.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Buife Nomeh, and this is the Efficiency ToolKit series, a series that I've started this year to help us, by us I mean you and I, to increase our efficiency in our careers this year. And on this third episode, I have the one and only Muyiwa Sobayo. Muyiwa, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Buife. Thanks for having me here. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming. Muyiwa is a core finance strategy, business operations, and intelligence person, and he has over 15 years experience working in industries like banking, pharmaceutical, the finance industry, and okay, he's been in a lot of places. Let me just put it that way. Until recently, he was the CFO of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, and he is currently the head of business for Travel Den. Welcome once again, Muyiwa.
Thank you, and thanks for having me. It's my pleasure to be here. And I want to say well done for all the things you're doing. I see your videos every now and then, and I want to say you are doing a great job. Thanks for how you are taking care of we millennials.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so on this third episode, Muyiwa and I are going to be talking about the 3 Ps of personal effectiveness, especially as it relates to our efficiency at work. Now, if you haven't seen the January and February episode of this series, then I encourage you to check it out after you have seen this one. Like every episode comes with wholesome information for you to expand and elevate in your careers. The first thing that I want us to talk about, Muyiwa, is the difference between effectiveness and efficiency.
Effectiveness is simply getting the job done. So you have been given a task and then you got it done. But the question is, at what cost? What amount of input generated that output for you? So where the input is higher, significantly higher than the results you eventually got, you are effective, but you are not efficient. And so efficiency would have to correlate input and output together. And I usually like to use a journey. So if I'm going from here to Victoria Island and eventually I got there, it may be said of me that I'm efficient. I'm effective rather. But if I've wasted fuel, I've wasted time, I've wasted, so much so that eventually the job is done at an amount that is more expensive than normal, then I'm not efficient. So it is the combination of the two that we need at the workplace, even in our personal life, and our businesses, to be able to be described as very effective and efficient. Yeah.
I love that. I love that distinction. So you get the result that you are expected to get, especially at work. That's you being effective. But then efficiency is speaking to how much resources did you use or did you expend to get that result. And it doesn't just speak to the money that you spent, but things around about like time, people, energy, and so other things. Just think about all the things that you have to expend in getting the job done. How much of it did you use to get the results? That's what efficiency is all about. And like I said, we're talking about the 3 Ps of personal effectiveness, especially as it relates to you getting things done with the barest amount of resources as possible. And those 3 Ps are 1, premium people, 2, premium time, and 3, premium place. So we start off with premium people. Speak to us about having premium people in your life, especially as it relates to you being effective and efficient in your work.
We cannot overemphasize the importance of premium people for you to have an effective lifestyle. The truth is that at every point in time, we are always having intellectual intercourse or some other intercourse. As we are speaking now, Buife, you are speaking to me, I'm speaking to you, and our audience, they're also learning at the same time. Now they are increasing by the reason of this conversation. They are learning something new that they are integrating into their lives. And so I would say that surrounding yourself with great people who are very effective And when I say effective, number one, they are going the same place where you are going to. The direction is the same. Number two, the energy is also at a very high level, just like yours, or even more than yours, and that's very important, such that at every point in time, you need encouragement. At every point in time, you need somebody to also stimulate you. You find those people around you. You are not surrounded by people and you are just about the biggest, the best out of them all, and so they are taken out. There is a diffusion of energy, but you are not, having a replacement for it at every point in time. And like I usually do, I like to use a journey as an example. So if I'm going somewhere, let me use island as an example. I'm going to the island and I'm going with, say, 3 people who are not going the same way with me. So I'm going this way. So that means I also am not going anywhere. Or I'm going with 3 people whose energy levels are different, very, very low. At every point in time, I'm checking my time to be sure that I'm, my distance, I'm covering my distance, and I'm checking to be sure that I'm fast enough. If I see that I'm slacking, I walk faster. And then I see them, because they don't have the same direction, or maybe they do have the same direction, but they don't have the same energy. I find them, looking around, checking something, buying something on the road. It's going to affect me if I'm not careful, And so it is very important you have people who are charged with an energy level that is higher than you, who are going in the same direction. They are the frequency that you are also in, or maybe even higher. And so at every point in time, you are able to deliver effectively. Without that, we'll not be able to do much in our personal lives. Without that, we'll not be able to do much in our business life or in any life for that matter. So we need such systems in our lives. Yeah.
Lovely. We need quality people, the system of quality people in our lives if we want to be efficient in our careers. And there are 2 things that you were really specific about. One is that for you to say that the people around you are premium, one, you guys have to have a shared vision. Like, you have to be going after the same thing. There should be the same objective. Without that, you're going to be going to one place and they're going to another place. So there's no cohesion. There's not enough harmony. People, they're thinking differently from you, and you guys could never get the quality of result that is expected of you. And then the second thing that you said, Muyiwa, is that you and the people that you work with, you have to have the same level of energy. You can't be up here while the people that you surround yourself with are down here. It's not going to work, because, again, they're going to drag you back. They're going to make you go slow when you should be going faster. And it's really important that you have the right people. And I think also having people that have the same vision or the same objective and the same level of energy is that you guys, especially in the workplace, is that you get to brainstorm at the same level. Like, you're so fired up and you want to get, you're thinking hard and fast about the things that you need to get done. So premium people, make sure you have those around. Let's talk about the premium time.
I usually would say that we exist within a time frame. And that understanding is very important. We exist within a time frame. You don't have all of time. So I don't have all of the time. So everything we do within the context of a time, And so that is why I would say that we first need to understand that time is non-committal. Time is not your friend. Time is not your enemy. Time is just a business guy doing what it's called to do. As we are discussing about time now, time is not even waiting to check on us to say, oh, they are talking about me. Time is just so diligent, so serious guy. So serious, So we must first understand that we are not friends with time. So when I hear time is not my friend or time is not on my side, time is not on your side. Time is not against you. Time is just time. So we first must understand that. And so I think that for people, we have our most effective times at different times. So the same way we have peak periods for businesses, for some businesses, we also have individuals and they understand their time. So for example, if I wake up very early in the morning, I get a lot done. And it gets to a point when I get to distractions, I just leave those very serious work for another time when I have my best of moments also. You understand? So you find me working very hard for something that are very cerebral, very early in the morning to a certain time. And then I pick it up again after work when there are no much, So it's a function of understanding when you function the most. And that's why there's a guy, who will rise up a great time before the dawn, and then go to some mountain and then go do something. And by the time people are waking up, he has covered a lot of ground. It is important to understand when you get the most effective, where you generate the most energy and you deliver so maximally, and stick to it, so that you can have much results within that time than what you will have spending so long a time that is not your premium time.
I love that. There's something that you said. You said the same way businesses have their peak periods is the way that we also have our peak periods. So what are you? Are you a morning person? Are you a night person, or a night owl, like we say? So let me know in the comments, when do you get the best work done? The other part of time, premium time, that I want us to talk about, because it's essential as people who work in teams, in organizations. A lot of times you don't work alone, you don't work in isolation. You work on projects with people within your own team, as well as people from other teams. How do you manage time and ensure that you get the result with the least amount of time when you are working with other people who do not share the same energy as you in terms of keeping to time?
And that's question you ask a very important one, because that is where the ineffectiveness of another person rubs off on you. The interesting thing is that you cannot explain your own ineffectiveness away or your lack of result by pointing to another person in a system. And so it now becomes even even more interesting that personally I'm doing well, but then the other guy whose output is supposed to be my input, that guy is very slow. You can't say that at performance appraisal. And so what it means is that largely you are also, maybe not largely, but partly you are also responsible for that person's time, at least to the extent that you help him generate the results you need to help you on your own assignment. And so what I usually would say is this: two things. Number one, there is a way people behave when they think that you are making requests from them on a personal level, on a friendship basis. And so rather than speak to someone who I know is in the habit of wasting time, I'd rather do a mail. And so there is something formal, there is something evidential that shows that, okay, we are having a business conversation and I'm not just your friend in the light sense of it. Then secondly is that you need to put pressure. You must be in the habit of putting so much pressure on people like that, such that they want to avoid you. Like they want to say, I mean, this is Buife's work. Please, let's quickly do it and give it to her, because she's going to so stand in our neck and then will not be able to breathe. Interestingly, it becomes a way to even describe you. It becomes a way to even measure how effective you are, because at that time people just know that you are also very time conscious. And so when it comes to your work, they just know and they quickly deliver and give to you. So it's important that you don't relax and think that, okay, because the other person is not replying as fast as it should, so that's the reason. There's no reason for failure. So it is very important to also mount such pressure.
Thank you so much for that. I love the fact that you said you cannot excuse your failure or your ineffectiveness by saying that it was because somebody else was or is ineffective. Do not allow yourself to accept that as an excuse for being ineffective. So now we're moving on to the third P of personal effectiveness, and that is premium place. I love to read on my bed. There's just a deeper understanding that comes when
I don't envy you at all. We are not in the same WhatsApp group.
when
I can't try it.
laying down. And no, seriously, like it's not, some people, they read when they are laying down to read is when they want to sleep. So they want to force sleep. They lay down and they pick up a book. That's not me. I can read on the book, change styles on the bed. So that's premium place for you. Muyiwa, please. I know it's not everybody that will be reading on the bed or doing their best work on the bed, but how does finding your premium place help you be effective and efficient?
All right. So thank you very much. Like you said, interestingly, we all have these unique idiosyncrasies, and it doesn't misdefine us. Rather, it defines us and our uniqueness. It's important you understand where you perform the best. Take, for example, there are some tasks I do. I need little noise. I just need little distraction. It makes me stay longer. I just feel that I'm not working because I have a little distraction here and there. And then it makes me just keep at it for so long. There are some other tasks I just don't want a pin to drop. I just don't want, I want a place where I can be very, very focused. The thing is this, if you are in your premium place, you get to deliver a better result because you are enjoying, you are focused. You also deliver that result in good time, not wasting time. Have you been in a place you are trying, you are struggling, you just know that I'm struggling to get this thing done. You keep coming back to what you have, and so that's what it does. So it is also important that you know where you perform the best, a particular place where you perform the best. For example, I may just put myself out to go to the meeting room when nobody is there. For some, maybe analytical thinking, if I'm working on figures, other times it's not that deep. I really need to be in the midst of people, to be able to work well. So it's for individuals to understand where they perform best and then use that maximally to generate results. It's very important.
Figure out where you perform best. Just it's your thing. It doesn't have to be where everybody else does their best work. Find out where works for you. And if you've already found that out, or if it's beginning to make sense to you why you are able to do so much when you are in a particular environment than you are, then let me know in the comments. What is your premium place? Before we leave the conversation,
I should say briefly on a lighter note that don't make if your premium place is in the convenience, maybe in the gents or in the ladies, don't go and sit down there and then people like us who want to use the convenience, we can't get entrance because that's your own premium place.
I actually know people who go into the restroom with a book. Okay, exactly. So I love my bed, but if you are using a restroom that is not yours, it's not your private restroom, please
give us chance. We also need to use that same restroom. Yeah.
All right. So before we leave premium place, I want this series to be as helpful to my viewers. Let's talk about people who are in work environments that is not suitable for them. By that, I'm speaking to maybe working in the wrong team, working in the wrong role, or working for the wrong organization. How can we handle that, especially because it affects the level of impact that we are able to make?
If you're in the wrong role, but there exists the role that fits you in the organization, you can have a conversation with the HR or the management and then be able to express yourself for that. The bottom line, before I even go on, is that it is very, very important that you find satisfaction. You are not going to live for 1,000 years. You are going to, and your work life is not even going to be for 100 years, for crying out loud. So we need to enjoy the moment. The true meaning of success is not just the money, it's you finding fulfillment every now and then. You are just happy. And so if you are not happy, you have to do something about it. Either to adjust your role, your place of work or anything, or to exit. The only thing is you don't do that in a rush. It has to be well calculated because you have responsibility. You don't want to become a liability, But it is important. And I should also say that we should not be in a hurry to rush out also, except you have seen very clearly that there is nothing that can be done to this. Some organizations are very toxic. The longer you stay, the more your esteem is battered. You are looking for yourself, you can't find yourself again. You are doubting yourself, you are wondering, is this who I am? Or, something has changed about me. So for such places, you can't just cope. You don't want to manage for too long. Just ensure that you work your exit, be well calculated, make sure that it is well considered, and then you leave the place. The thing is, it is important that you enjoy where you are. Otherwise, it will show in your performance. And eventually, when it shows in your performance, you will be let go, and that is even not as graceful as you taking it and then, finding your exit, in good time. But like I said, we should not always be, because there is no perfect organization. perfection is not, is just a concept to make us keep trying to get better. So don't quickly judge and say, no, this is not my place, this is not, and then I'm just jumping. You will keep jumping around. Make sure that you do the best with what you have, the place you have now. Try to work it out, ensure that you do that analysis and be very sure, because it's important that you try your best. And when you see that it's not working, then calculate it well, and then you take a bow.
When you were speaking, one of the things that came to mind was the fact that I like to look at myself. That self-awareness is, like you mentioned, is really, really important. Who are you and what do you want in your career? So if you look at the role that you are in, if it's not what you want, why do you have to keep doing it? If you are in an environment that does not challenge you, and now when I say challenge, sometimes you are challenged to improve on your strengths. Sometimes you are challenged to work on your area of weakness. When you said do not be quick to rush out, that's what came to mind, that you have to really examine yourself. Michael Jackson sang, if you want to change the world, start with the man in the mirror. So it's the same thing as you're thinking about where you're working, and if it's a premium place for you, have that self-awareness of where you want to go in your career this year. If you're not quite sure, I encourage you to check out the episode 2 of the Efficiency ToolKit. Deborah, David, and I, we talked about goal setting, how to stretch yourself, how top talents reach top targets. So I will encourage you to check out that episode. Okay, thank you so much, Muyiwa, for agreeing to come on this episode to discuss the 3 Ps of personal effectiveness with me. Before I let you go, what is your final word for us on this episode?
I would say that performance, effectiveness, efficiency is an integrity thing. And what do I mean by that? When you were going to get that job, when you were going to get that business, when you were going to get that engagement, you made promises. And so based on that, you were judged to be, fitting for that role. And so now that you are there, it is your personal integrity to ensure that you deliver effectively and efficiently. This is not even somebody supervising, running around you. Yeah, you can have a supervisor, but you must have that ownership. It must be your thing. It must run in your head that this is my personal signature. This is me. This is not, my performance is not separate from me. My whole life, my whole integrity is into this. And so you must ensure that you deliver maximally, effectively, and efficiently. This is not the organization. This is you making sure that you represent yourself, and all that you are, you represent that very, very well.
Oh, so
that's what I would say.
I love that. I love that. Okay. I think we got it. You want to be sure that you are properly representing yourself. That's how they say it in church. Rema.
Rema.
That honestly, that like this is it. This is it. There's nothing else to say. Make sure you are representing yourself the way that if you send somebody out there to represent you or to talk about you, this is what you want them to say about you and about how you do your work. That is just how you go for efficiency and effectiveness. Okay, that's it. We're done. Thank you so much, Muyiwa, for coming on this episode. And if you are enjoying this series, please subscribe, like the video, comment, and share it. This has been the Efficiency Toolkit, and I started this series in January of this year, 2023, and I was just inspired to do this because I feel like we need to go higher in our careers, but we need to be intentional about it. So every month, I have a new topic with a new guest, all geared towards helping us elevate our effectiveness and efficiency in our careers and workplaces. Thank you so much, Muyiwa, for coming again. Thank you.
Thank you, Buife, for having me. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you, viewers. Thank you so much for staying true to this channel. Thank you. If it's helping you, please do well to share it so that the content can reach more people. Subscribe, comment, and enjoy the rest of your day.